Hey guys, I'm back with the last Junie B book. I think we've read them all except this one. Junie B First Grader, Aloha-ha-ha. And on the back, on the blurb, it says it's a week in Paradise. Junie B and her family are going on a vacation to Hawaii. And Mr. Scary is giving her a real, actual camera to keep a photo journal of her trip. But taking good vacation pictures is not always easy. Because what if your airplane is full of grouchy ladies? And what if there's an unfortunate inner tube incident at the swimming pool? And yikes, let's not even mention what happens if a tropical bird gets tangled in your hair. Will Junie B's vacation end up picture perfect? Or will her trip to Hawaii be aloha horrible? And so I'm going to read chapter 1 today. What do you think's going to happen? Chapter 1, there's 9 chapters in this book. And chapter 1 is called Flinging. Where is Junie B at? What's the setting of the story in chapter 1? It says, Friday, dear first grade journal. I've got big news. Last night, Daddy told me a happy surprise, and it's called My Family's Going on an Exciting Vacation. And it's going to be the time of our life, I tell you. I'm trying to save my news for show and tell, but I don't think I can wait that long. That's how come I'm going to ask my teacher to start that activity right exactly now. Please stand by. I stopped writing and I raised my hand. Mr. Scary was not looking at me. When teachers don't look, you have to stand up and shout, or else how are they supposed to notice you? I stood up and shouted, Mr. S, how long until we have show and tell, do you think? Mr. Scary wrinkled his eyebrows at me. I'm not supposed to call him Mr. S, I believe. Please sit down, Junie B, he said. It's still journal time, and journal time is quiet time. I nodded. Yeah, I know, only I'd actually like to wrap things up and get started with show and tell now. Mr. Scary sucked in his cheeks. Sit down, he said again. We will have show and tell shortly. I looked at the clock. How many minutes is shortly? I asked. Is it 1 minute, or 8 minutes, or 11 minutes? On account of it's 1 minute, I can wait probably. But 11 minutes would be out of the question. Mr. Scary walked back to my desk and he sat me down in my chair. I glanced up at him. All I'm looking for is a rough estimate, I said. Just then my neighbor named May leaned across the aisle and she did a giant shh in my face. I quick wiped my cheek. Ew, I hollered. Ew, ew, ew. Because May got spittle on me, that's why. And spittle is the grown-up word for spitooey. I zoomed to the back of the room and I climbed on the stool to reach the faucet. But Mr. Scary beat me to it. He wet a paper towel and wiped my face. Thank you, I said. I needed that. Mr. Scary rolled his eyes. You're being very rambunctious this morning, aren't you, Junie B. Jones? He said. I scratched my head at that vocabulary. Okay, you lost me on that one, I said. Rambunctious, he repeated. Rambunctious means... May's voice interrupted. Bad, she called out. Bunctious means bad, Junie Jones. You're being bad this morning. Bad, 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 bad. I turned to look at her. Her chair was spun around to face the back of the room, and she was watching me like an audience. Mr. Scary ran his fingers through his tired hair, and then he went to May's desk and he turned her back in the right direction. Teachers spend a lot of time adjusting people. After he came back, he bent down next to me and he made his voice more private. Junie B, I know why you're excited, he whispered. Your mother called me on the phone last night and she told me about your vacation next week. I threw my arms up real thrilled, and I flinged myself way high in the air. I can't wait, Mr. Scary. I can't wait, I said. Mr. Scary grabbed my arms and he kept me from flinging. Okay, see, this is the wild behavior that I'm talking about, he said. I really need you to stay calm until show and tell, Junie B. Can you do that for me, please? I thought for a second and then I shrugged my shoulders. Yeah, only I don't actually know if I can do that, I said, because I'm already trying to be calm and this is how I'm turning out. My teacher tapped his chin. Maybe we could make a deal, he said. How about this? If you stay quiet and calm until show and tell, I'll let you go first. How does that sound? I bounced up and down at that exciting idea. That sounds like a D-E-E-L, I said. You mean D-E-A-L, said Mr. Scary. Deal is spelled with an A, Junie B. Whatever, I said. After that, I twirled real fast in a happy circle and I accidentally spun myself into the ground. On my way down, I knocked over the trash can and the sink stool. All of room 1 turned to look at me. I sat up and waved my fingers. "Do not be alarmed, people. I'm perfectly okay," I said. After that, I stood up and dusted myself off, and then I went back to my seat, and I looked at the clock again. No minutes had passed at all, hardly. I put my head down and did a groan. Time is as slow as a turtle. And that's the end of chapter 1. Bailey's been down here on the floor resting. I hope he was listening to the story. I'll be back next time for chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called Pair O' Dice.